Whispers of the Haunted Library, a Hollowbrook tale. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Thomas Hawthorne, the librarian of the Hollowbrook Library. Before I recount the tale of the library's dark secrets, let me tell you a little about myself. I have been the custodian of this repository of knowledge for many years, inheriting the position from my father, who in turn inherited it from his ancestors. As the librarian, I have witnessed the ebb and flow of visitors drawn to our hallowed halls, each seeking something different, whether it be wisdom, escape, or, as you will soon discover, something far more sinister. Now, dear listeners, allow me to transport you to that same chilling narrative. In the heart of the quaint little town of Hollowbrook stood a building that held secrets darker than the night itself, the Hollowbrook Library. This towering structure, adorned with age-old architecture, had a history that spanned centuries, with tales of mystery and fear whispered among its echoing halls. The library had always held an uncanny allure, drawing in curious souls like moths to a flickering flame. It was as if the books within its walls held not just knowledge, but also a piece of the enigma that surrounded the place. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the cobblestone streets, the library's doors would creak open with a sound akin to a mournful sigh, inviting those brave enough to step into its depths. Oliver Crane, a young and ambitious journalist, had heard the rumors circulating about the library. Intrigued, he decided to unravel the truth behind the tales that had kept the town's inhabitants on edge for generations. Armed with a notepad and a heart filled with determination, he pushed open the heavy oaken doors one chilly evening, the air inside carrying a musty scent of old parchment and secrets long buried. The interior of the library was a labyrinth of shelves, each stacked high with volumes that seemed to whisper amongst themselves. Moonlight filtered through stained glass windows, casting an eerie mosaic of colors on the floor. Oliver's footsteps echoed as he ventured deeper, his senses heightened by the palpable aura of the unknown. As he delved into the library's history, he uncovered stories of disappearances and unexplained phenomena associated with the building. A librarian from the early 1900s had vanished without a trace, leaving nothing behind but an open book on a dusty desk. A scholar conducting research on the occult had reportedly been driven to madness after spending nights within the library's confines. The more Oliver dug, the more he felt the tendrils of fear wrapping around his heart. Late one evening, while poring over ancient manuscripts, Oliver heard a soft whisper coming from the shadows. He looked around, his heart pounding in his chest, but saw no one. The whispers grew louder, and soon he could make out phrases, disjointed and eerie. Panic began to claw at his mind, but a perverse curiosity held him in place. With each passing night, the library seemed to come alive. Books flew off shelves, their pages rustling as if turned by invisible hands. Faint laughter echoed through the halls, only to be replaced by anguished cries moments later. The air grew thick with a sense of foreboding, and Oliver realized that he had ventured too deep into a world he could not comprehend. Desperation gripped Oliver as he struggled to find answers. He consulted experts in the paranormal, but they were baffled by the malevolent force that seemed to have taken hold of the library. Sleep-deprived and on the brink of madness, he turned to an old-town historian who shared a chilling tale. The library had been built upon a burial ground, a place where the restless souls of criminals and outcasts were laid to rest, their anger and sorrow seeping into the very foundation. As the historian recounted the story, the ground beneath the library seemed to tremble. The walls groaned, and the room filled with a cold, suffocating darkness. Oliver's surroundings twisted and contorted, and he found himself standing in a nightmarish realm where the boundary between the living and the dead was blurred. Spectral figures roamed the stacks, their hollow eyes fixed on Oliver. The air was filled with the cacophony of tormented whispers, and the walls seemed to close in around him. He stumbled through the shifting corridors, pursued by unseen entities that hungered for his soul. Every desperate breath he took filled his lungs with the essence of the malevolent spirits that had found a conduit through the library. Time lost all meaning as Oliver was trapped in this twisted dimension, his sanity hanging by a thread. Just when he thought he could bear it no longer, a faint glimmer of dawn's light pierced through the darkness. With a surge of willpower, he broke free from the spectral clutches. finding himself back in the physical world, within the library's main hall. The morning sun bathed the room in warmth, as if purging the lingering malevolence. The library stood silent, its secrets once again locked away in the pages of its books. Oliver stumbled out, a changed man, forever haunted by the terrors he had witnessed. The town of Hollowbrook whispered his tale for generations, a cautionary reminder of the dangers of delving too deeply into the unknown. And so, the Hollowbrook Library remained, a place of enchanting allure and unspeakable horrors, a nexus between the realms of the living and the dead, where the boundary between reality and nightmare was as fragile as a threadbare page. Those who dared to enter would forever be marked by its chilling touch, their fates intertwined with the spirits that dwelled within its walls. In the aftermath of Oliver's harrowing ordeal, the town of Hollowbrook was forever changed. The whispers that once carried the tale of the haunted library now took on a more somber tone, a cautionary tale shared in hushed tones around hearths and in darkened corners. The library itself stood as a sentinel of the past, its doors closed to the curious and the brave alike, as if acknowledging the darkness it held within. Thomas Hawthorne, the librarian, continued to hold his post, his weary eyes filled with a wisdom only those who have peered into the abyss can possess. He greeted visitors with a measured kindness, yet a hint of sadness clung to his demeanor, a reminder of the cost of curiosity. He knew that the library was a nexus of both knowledge and fear, a place that could enlighten or consume depending on the paths one dared to tread. As for Oliver Crane, he emerged from the shadows of the library a changed man. His once ambitious spirit had been tempered by the terrors he had faced, and he turned away from the pursuit of sensational stories. Instead, he dedicated his life to documenting the histories of forgotten places, hoping to shed light on the stories left untold. The town itself settled into an uneasy equilibrium, its residents living with the knowledge that the library's haunting tales were not mere legends. Some claimed to hear distant whispers in the night, carried by the wind, while others reported strange figures that seemed to move just at the edge of their vision. The library remained a place of reverence and fear, a tangible reminder of the mysteries that lurked beneath the surface of their world. Years passed, and the memory of Oliver's journey through the library began to fade, yet the impact of his story remained. Hollowbrook continued to thrive, its streets bustling with life, yet its heart held a deeper understanding of the thin veil that separated the living from the dead. The library stood as a testament to the unending dance between light and darkness, curiosity and caution, and the undeniable truth that some mysteries are best left untouched. And so, dear reader, as you close this chapter of Hollowbrook's history, remember that even in the most serene corners of the world, shadows may dwell, and the line between reality and nightmare can be as fragile as the pages of a book.